What's going on, guys? My name is Max. I'm a communication skills coach, and what I do on this channel is I react to all different types of people's communication skills. Guys, if you want to catch my full reaction to this entire episode, plus all my other uncut BTS and live reactions, all you need to do is click on my Patreon link below. Enjoy. Other than that, I look forward to diving into this video. The boys reading letters to one another. Let's get started with the video. Jimin's nervous. Here we go. Letter reading time.
슈가 형이 진영한테 편지 쓰니까 되게 이상하다.
그러니까. 왜요?
아니야.
왜 한숨 쉬세요?
룸메이트끼리.
I'm excited to see how Jin takes this. He's already looking like he's a bit uncomfortable here. Let's see.
처음 본 순간이 생각이 나요. 아주 바르고 착해 보였던 형이 무대를 할 때, 노래를 할 때 걱정하고 자신감 없어 하던 형의 모습이 엊그제 같은데 요즘 무대를 하는 것을 보면 참 노래를 잘한다는 생각이 듭니다. 와, 부족한 것을 채우기 위해 몰래 노력하던 모습에서 너무 감동이었고 본받을 게 많은 형이라 생각했습니다. 앞으로도 쭉 함께 오래오래, 하지만 나이값을 좀 하면 좋겠습니다. 슈가.
You gotta end it with a little bit of humor for Jin. So Suga reading his audience and delivering that message at the end with that little Jin touch. First of all, they weren't looking at each other the entire time. So I think there was maybe a little bit of discomfort and cringe on both ends when it first started. Suga obviously said some really nice things about Jin. And one of the ways that we can be meaningful when we speak about other people is saying something that is specific about their success or specific about how they've improved. And I think Suga pinpointed something that obviously was very sort of monumental in Jin's rise. And I think that also speaks to Suga's honesty and his authenticity and how much more meaningful and impactful this message was coming from Suga, because he doesn't beat around the bush. He's very direct in his communication. When he does say something good, you know he means it. You know it comes with pride, and you know it comes with honesty.
사실 저는 진지한 얘기를 원래 잘 안 해가지고 윤기 이런 생각도 잘 모르고
기대된다.
to JK 안녕. 형이야. 너에게는 항상 감사하고 있단다. 정신 연령이 26살인 형하고 정신 연령이 비슷해서 고마워.
Okay, not shocking at all that it started off with humor. He's kind of being self-deprecating here. So self-deprecation, good communication skills tools sometimes, especially when you're giving a speech. I feel like a lot of the time it shows your humility and it allows your audience to relate to you and feel more comfortable.
있는 사이에 내 침대에 누워서 셀카 보내주는데 한 번만 더 그러면 하와이에선 얼굴이 탔지만 한국에선 불구덩이에 그냥 던져버릴 거야. 물론 불구덩이는 뜨거운 내 가슴이란다. 형의 넓은 품에 포옥하고 안기려무나. 언제나 팀의 선생님이 되어주고 팀의 활력소가 되어줘서 고마워.
He just slipped something in the middle of the humor.
팀의 선생님이 되어주고.
Jin did say he has a tough time getting serious, but he did slip it in there. You see like little glimpses here and there of Jin's sincerity and him getting, more emotional and real. Again, in his delivery, if you watch his delivery, there's a little bit of a smile there. It's like there's a little bit of an undertone of humor, just a hint. And perhaps that's his way of protecting himself in some way. Like, hey, if I get too deep, if I get too honest, I might look a certain way that you might judge me for. Or maybe it's just not in his personality to go there.
재밌는데? 좋은데?
그러니까 오글거림을 상쇄하기 위해서 굉장히 노력을 한 것 같은데 근데 거기서 진심이 느껴져요.
고맙다 그렇게 들어줘서.
Cool seeing Yoongi have Jin's back there.
그래서 진심이 느껴져요.
And there was some sincerity in it. There's no question about that. That's Jin's way. We've talked about this. This is Jin's way of showing that he cares about you and that he loves you. And people have different, you can call them love languages or different ways they can show you that they love you and care about you. And I think Jin's primary method in doing that seems to be joking around with you. He might not get as deep as some of the other guys all the time, although I know he has the capacity to. He might not go there, but that doesn't mean he doesn't love you just as much.
내가 오늘 본 진영이 제일 차분한데? 그러니까 옛날 진영 보는 것 같아.
And let's not dismiss how difficult it is to open up and express your feelings about other people. Like, it's difficult, right? It's hard to do that, especially when there's cameras on you.
남준이 형.
I'm excited for this one.
특히 형에게서 제일 자극을 많이 받는데 제가 뭔가 형이 일할 때나 음악 얘기 뭐 작업하는 거 형이 평소에 뭐 영어 하는 거 그런 것들 보면서 자신감이랑 열정이 다시 많이 생기는 것 같아요. 또 계속 뒤따라갈게요. 형 진짜 멋있는 사람입니다.
That's so touching, man. That's so nice. That kind of brought a tear to my eye there. Jungkook articulated that extremely well. You can tell that was written from the heart. You know, I know a lot of you have said that he really admires RM, but it was nice actually hearing him express that. But he took a different approach, right? His approach was how RM impacted him.
열정이 다시 많이 생기는 것 같아요.
As opposed to all the good qualities that he sees in RM, right? So it was just like a very personalized letter.
집중과 선택과 집중을 잘하면 항상 뭐든지 이뤄낼 수 있는 포텐셜을 갖고 있는 굉장히 멋진 친구라고 생각하니까 지금처럼 그렇게 나도 항상 너의 그 도전하는 자세
RM doing what RM does, right? Returning the compliment.
그렇겠지만 정국이가 진짜 부러울 때가 많거든. 항상
And I think that is the natural thing to do for RM too, right? I think he was touched in that moment and he felt like, okay. And this is what happens, right, guys? When people open up to us, when people really sort of get deep and open up and really express how they feel, especially in a positive way, it brings our walls down and it allows us to open up in return.
그냥 진지하게 한번 써봤어요. 그래서
다
떨려?
서로
And before we get into this, you can tell that V was taking this seriously when he was writing this letter out to Jimin. Like, he wasn't messing around.
지민이가 있으면 어떨 것 같아? 라고 질문한 적이 있어. 한참 생각하다가 힘들 때나 기쁠 때나 항상 옆에서 같이 웃고 가 때문에 노력해주고 이해해주고 고민 들어주고 한없이 부족하고 못난 친구 많이 좋아해줬어. 앞으로도 오래 같이 꽃길만 걷자. 사랑한다 친구.
Wow, did V get choked up there at the end? That was beautiful. That was really beautiful too. He's such a sincere guy, right? I think this speaks to how genuine he is. I love that he incorporated a specific story in there. And I think that's a really great way to deliver a message in any sort of presentation or when we're talking to other people. If we can bring up a specific moment that happened in the past and reflect on that moment and talk about that moment and why that was important to you, that goes a long way. You know, it shows that person that you think about them. It shows that person that you really care about them, especially when it comes to human connections, relationships, and communication. It's all about showing people that you care about them in different ways. And V did that in his letter there.
사랑한다 친구.
And that was so nice how they shared that moment at the end together too, wasn't it? They both kind of just looked over at each other at the end. Now, just seeing these sincere, real friendships, especially, it just means so much with these guys too, because they've been through so much together. And we get to see all the success. And the success, I've said it before, hasn't come without mountains and mountains of hard work. So these guys have seen each other at their lowest, they've seen each other at their highest. And I think that adds to the power of a friendship, to the amount of connection that you have in a relationship, the bond that you have with someone, is the hardships that you faced, as well as the accomplishments that you've experienced together.
네, 참 많이 하거든요. 그래서 저도 고맙다는 얘기를 해주고 싶습니다. 울지 말고 임마. 멋있어요. 울지 말고 왜 우냐 갑자기.
You could tell Jimin was like a little embarrassed about this whole situation, but V, wow, overcome with emotion there. That friendship clearly means a lot to him. Clearly means a lot to Jimin too. You can just tell V feels everything, doesn't he? He feels it all. And that's a part of his sincerity, and I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to V. And I think that's probably what makes him a really good artist as well. It's like his inspiration can come from anywhere. So, yeah. Wow. Okay.
너에게 전할 말을 골라낸다는 것이 참 어렵다. 너의 처음을 한번 떠올려 본다. 아버지의 손에 이끌려서 왕
They're catching Taehyung in an emotional state right here. They're just firing at all cylinders at him. He's still absorbing what just happened, reading his letter to Jimin. Now RM's hitting him with his letter. All right, let's see this.
너의 이상함이 끌렸어. 그리고 때론 엄청 부러웠어. 너는 누구와도 쉽게 친해지고 모두가 너를 좋아하니까. 결국 너는 보란 듯이 너의 이상함이 사실은 특별한 힘을 증명한 셈이지.
Namjoon is incredible, man. What a beautiful letter. So well executed. Just the right amount of humor. The storytelling in that letter was incredible. Really amazing stuff from our boy RM over here. The one thing that I like about what RM said, he said, you know, I envy the way that everyone likes you.
그리고 때론 엄청 부러웠어.
There's something about that I think not only shows RM's humility there. Instead of just saying, you know, you've got this unique character and everyone likes you, on top of that, you're saying, I envy that. So you're actually being vulnerable in a way. You're exposing yourself in a way, you know, and that's the beauty in that message, is you are being vulnerable while also delivering a compliment at the same time.
그리고 때론 엄청 부러웠어. 너는 누구와도 쉽게 친해지고 모두가 너를 좋아하니까. 너 꽤나 이상하고 특이한 외계인 같은 사람임을 알게 되었어.
That was cool how RM said that, like, V kind of uncovered this realization in himself that he's also this strange, puzzling guy. A lot of you said, like, you gotta listen to RM's message to V, because V also says that RM is very unique, and those were my very first impressions of V. And I still do think that. He is a very unique guy. He's very unique. He's different, right? The way he carries himself, the way he goes through life seems... It's different, and that's a good thing.
어땠어? 딱 들었는데.
그래, 그만으로 얘기해.
사실 레몬 형이랑 많이 얘기를 하거든요. 이제 레몬 형 방에 가가지고 고민이 있으면 이런 고민도 있다. 정말 말도 정말
Yeah, and sometimes you forget these guys have relationships off camera, right? We don't get to see the depth of their relationship. You know, we see it to the extent that the cameras let us see it, and we do see a lot. But you forget sometimes that they have their own relationship behind the cameras. V confides in RM, it sounds like. And RM is the master at giving advice and bestowing his wisdom, because he really is such a wise guy. And I don't mean like a wise guy like he's in the mob. I mean, he has a lot of wisdom. So, I've said this about him before, he understands things on an intellectual level. He understands human emotions on an intellectual level. But he also feels it too. I think he's got good instincts as well. He's got both sides of him, which is one of the reasons I think that makes him such an excellent leader.
보석이에요. 어느덧 형과 연습생 기간까지 포함해서 7년이란 시간을 함께하고 있네요. 처음 숙소 왔을 때 어색하고
Fun looking at their facial expressions when they start reading their speech. You can gain a lot from their facial expressions. You see some of the guys are smiling. It's not to say smiling's a bad thing, because smiling can be a reflection of the joy and happiness you feel when you're reciting your letter. But in some of these cases, I think the smiling is in response to the cringiness of reading a letter in front of everyone.
방탄소년단이라는 팀의 멤버가 되어주셔서 감사드리고 든든한 나의 형이 되어주셔서 정말 감사해요. 앞으로도 늘 제 옆에 있어주세요. I love my bro! 형 기억나요? 형 그 내가 나 처음 왔을 때 그 뭐냐
It's almost like this part of the exchange between J-Hope and Yoongi is more sincere. It's like when he sort of stopped reading the letter and just kind of spoke from what seems like his heart and kind of looked at Suga directly, you see how much more impact it felt like that message had?
고맙다라는 말을 해주시고
See how much eye contact makes a difference when you're delivering your message, right? How much sincerity that adds. And it just feels more real and meaningful.
나의 형이 되어주셔서 정말 감사해요.
Even when he just said, like, you know, I'm grateful that you're a big brother to me. I can tell that meant something to Suga. I think Suga likes being in that big brother role, and he's so good at it. Again, I've said this many times. He's like the grandfather of the group, actually. But he is. He's such a father figure in so many ways. And I think it's because he seems so grounded And he also obviously has a ton of wisdom. He also has like this realness to him that keeps the guys in check and keeps them grounded and keeps them humble in a way.
아니 옆에서 쪼그라지고 형 작업하는 거 옆에서 보고 근데 굉장히 그때 나는 잊을 수가 없는 게 형이 너무나도 멋있었고 무지개
J-Hope gets distracted. Oh, look, a rainbow. I wonder if, because J-Hope's so good with each of the guys individually, so good, always makes it a point to show that he's interested in them, that he cares about them. He'll drop whatever he's doing to show that he cares for each one of the guys. I wonder if the letter or the delivery of that letter would be different if it was just him and Suga. Because I do wonder, perhaps J-Hope is just more comfortable communicating his feelings when it's one-on-one. I think he is. I think he is more of a one-on-one guy than a group guy. Not to say that he can't be part of the group and doesn't enjoy being part of the group, but I think that's where he really shines and where his sort of skills and his gifts really come to life. So maybe that's why I felt the second part of that message was really sincere and heartfelt, because it felt one-on-one. It was direct, and it wasn't this performed letter in front of the group and in front of the cameras.
너무 먼저 말 걸어서 고맙고 항상 시간이 지나도 형은 저에게 고마운 존재라는 걸 꼭 말해주고 싶었어요 형. 고마워요, bro.
And that last little bit was real and sincere, just that thank you, bro, looking at him in the eyes. Right, when I see these guys making eye contact with each other, even when V and Jimin did at the end of V's letter to Jimin, and just there when J-Hope sincerely looked at Suga in the eye, like eye contact is such a big, important way of showing the person that you're speaking to that you care, right? If we deliver a message and we're looking away the whole time, it just doesn't have the same impact. And we talk about body language on this channel having more of an impact than our words. Body language and tone, this is according to the communication formula, make up 93% of our communication. So not that we're saying words aren't important, because words are certainly important, but it's in your delivery. It's how you say your words. It's how you communicate your message that really impacts how people perceive you and your words.
바르고 좋은 사람이구나 생각을 많이 했었고, 그리고 정직하고 이 성실함만으로도 사람이 이렇게 멋있을 수 있구나.
I really like that. A person can be cool because he is honest and faithful. A person isn't cool because necessarily of what they wear or what they say, but I like that definition of cool. So I like what Jimin has to say here. This is a nice letter off the bat. Jimin seems a little shy here. He does seem a little shy here. He was the guy, he's always been one of the guys who doesn't seem to have a problem expressing his feelings and sort of getting open and deep and real and sort of emotionally forward. But perhaps it's more about himself and his own feelings that he's able to articulate a little more easily than it is when he's talking about some of the other guys.
동생으로서도 같은 팀 멤버로서도 참 많이 배운 것 같습니다, 형. 참 우리를 항상 많이 챙기고 여러 가지 신경 쓰기 위해서 항상 고생한다는 거, 안다는 거.
I like that Jimin said that too. It's something that I noticed about J-Hope. You pay attention to us. You care about us, 100%. I think that is bang on. And obviously I don't know these guys extremely well, and I don't know them as well as a lot of you watching this, and obviously nowhere near in the ballpark of how well they know each other, but that's what I always thought. I mean, if I had to describe it, I think Jimin actually described it perfectly. It's like, you pay attention to us. That's what he does. He pays attention.
진심으로 고맙다는 얘기를 꼭 해주고 싶었습니다. 고맙습니다, 형.
Yeah, see, like Jimin has it in him. He has all those feelings in him. He has the ability to really pay some honest, flattering, sincere, specific, meaningful compliments. And although he was embarrassed about it, I thought that was an excellent letter. It just felt real.
진짜 역사를 썼으면 좋겠다. 진짜로. 핫백 가고 한국어로 빌보드 200 진짜 1등 하고
이거 하나
하야죠.
네, 한번 해봅시다.
I like these guys. Listening to them thinking big kind of gets me motivated and inspired. These guys think big. And it's fun listening to their goals and them talking about their goals. And I'm sure they talk about this a lot more off camera, but it's fun to see a glimpse of this here.
구경하고 있구나 우리.
신이 강림하는 것 같아, 신이.
All right, so I guess that was the end of the reading letters scene. Guys, if you want to watch my uncut reaction to the entire episode, all you need to do is click on my Patreon link below. Love you guys. Love these guys. I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.